Alright, so here we are, all the Queensmen fans, episode 3 of season 1 entitled Blackmail, baby. Madam expands her domain despite the complex situation with Alan. A new vigilante hides in the shadows with his sights on the Queen. Amp finally works at the club but is suspicious about his roommate. And I would be too, especially based off what we've seen back in episode 2. So, without further ado, please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we close in on 200,000 subscribers on the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And finally, hit that bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content on the channel. So, yeah, this episode, I think it was better than episode 2. I think I'm confidently giving this episode a 7 out of 10. And kind of like what I talked about in my episode 2 review, I was like, was killing Alan the best move? Because you create somewhat of a power vacuum, and especially after the murder of somebody who seems to be like a high profile person in the area, a businessman and whatnot, people are going to start asking questions, where's Alan? What happened to Alan? And this is kind of a running theme throughout season 1, where the people you would think would be asking where Alan is, we don't get a lot of that. We only get maybe 1 or 2 people who actively ask the questions that people should be asking. And it kind of reminded me of the beginning of Ruthless season 2 after, was it Oliver? Killed Lilo, and it's like the first few episodes. Where's Lilo? Have you seen Lilo? I haven't heard of Lilo. I haven't heard from Lilo in a while. What's going on? And it's like, wait, how long is this going to be going on? So, I also talked about how Madam creating this power vacuum is a dangerous thing. And like I said, in episode 1, we really saw a range of emotion from Madam, from caring about her father and her family, being hardcore when it comes to running her business, but at the same time, we saw a bit of vulnerability overall in different range. But in each episode moving forward, we're really starting in episode 2. I feel like from the moment she pulled the trigger at Alan's head, we were basically, getting a full-time stone cold Madam. Now, as the synopsis says, she's expanding her domain despite the situation with Alan, which I feel like is a terrible move, because if your business partner is gone, making these huge decisions by yourself would definitely raise a few eyebrows. So I would just kind of keep a low profile. I know it's hard to when you're owner of a strip club, but I wouldn't be trying to move my pieces all across the board when I just lost, either the king or one of my key players on the board. I mean, when you really think about it, Madam sacrificed the king in order to protect, I think Doc falls into the pawn category. Because like she said, I own you for the money, for the kind of money we making, I own you all. So, yeah. I mean, he is one of the VIP strippers, but okay, let's get into this. So, Madam goes on with expanding the empire. There is an element of the show that I do like, because as some other YouTubers have pointed out, Tyler Perryisms, there's kind of a knack for why is there only one judge, one hospital, one lawyer, basically one person of every profession in a given area, mainly Atlanta. So, when it comes to the situation, Madam wants a family lawyer in order to get custody of her father from her half-sister back in episode 1. Let me get her name real quick. Gotta go through my notes here. I believe it's Carla, right? Carla, that's right, Carla. Somebody actually pointed out to me in the chat on Instagram that, hey, Carla, she played in that movie, The Players Club. I never watched that movie. My sister, basically, I've never watched a lot of strip content, so I know of the movie. My sister, aunt, they love it and whatnot. I just never, heck, even my mom saw that movie. I just never saw it. She wants to get custody of her father. I believe it was stated that her ex, Marcus, is a property lawyer, but she needs somebody from family court in order to help out with getting custody of her dad from her half sister. we have again the running gag of Blue mentioning the fact that, madam, we can't have this money just staying up in here. And if I'm not mistaken, almost every scene of Madam in like her office at the club, we see her with stacks of money everywhere. I don't know if this is like a show of authority and power kind of thing, but it's just like, I mean, if you want to keep that money out of the bank, yeah, but either move it somewhere more secure or not in plain sight for everybody. You know what, whatever. Hey, I ain't got money like that, so I don't know. The only money I really have on me like that is a jar with just some coins in it, pennies and nickels, and quarters in the ashtray in my car for the car wash, but that's about it. So, Jean is the person who was going to, you know, buy out the club completely. You know, Jean was the person that Alan was referring to in regards to Madam's old, you know, boss slash partner in crime, if you will. And there's a meeting going down, but, you know, Blue tells him to leave, and Madam says, you know, you can get out or you could be buried in the backyard. And I'm like, well, you kind of gave yourself away, because, you know, Jean is asking questions about Alan, you know, like, Alan is reported missing due to the fact that there was no trace of him, thanks to the cleaner that came by the house, you know, either at the, I think in episode 2, to clean up any remains and make it seem like Alan was never there. I believe they also got rid of his car somehow, and his phone, wasn't the phone like buried with him or something? But damn, didn't that happen on the Haves and the Have-Nots? Oh no, this is before Quincy was buried. I think somebody's phone was on Quincy's body, and Jeffrey had to dig through his coat pockets to get it out, because Quincy did something. I forgot. It was something like that. So, I mean, there are just so many things where I'm like, if you don't, doesn't like every phone have a tracker or something? So I don't know, whatever. So essentially, you know, Jean is asking if Alan could help with any sort of issues in the club, you know, because it's almost as if the show, since it's all the Queen's Men, it kind of reminds me of shows on the CW like Supergirl, where if there's a female lead, males have to be toxic, overly masculine. Essentially, Jean feels like one of the reasons, if not the main reason, Madam should sell is because when it comes to the stress and everything in regards to a strip club and, you know, this kind of life, it's not a woman's job, it's men's work. And, you know, obviously that's a huge turn off to Madam and Blue, and that's why they want them to get the hell out and stop talking that nonsense. Like, you know, that's going to make them dig, or I know this sounds weird, but plant their heels in the ground. I know it sounds weird because, you know, heels, woman, and, you know, I'm not trying to sound like I'm a sexist, but essentially, basically, the way you're trying to explain all the reasons why they shouldn't do, all the reasons why they can't run the club, all the reasons why they should sell, that's just going to make them want to not sell even more. So, we meet a new character. I believe her name is Kat, and she's a police officer, and she's Blue's girlfriend. And this really, again, gives me vibes of Justin from the Haves and the Have-Nots, where Kat is a character who's going to be in a bunch of these episodes because she seems to be like the only cop working on the case. Oh, wow, she's looking into the Allen investigation, kind of like Justin was first introduced due to the disappearance of Quincy. What a coincidence. So, let's switch gears just slightly. Amp is talking to his creepy-ass roommate Red about his dream, because Red was watching him sleep. And he was dreaming about somebody named Sharon, and, you know, it was a situation involving a drunk driving accident, and I think this could be in reference to episode 1. Maybe there was a situation of a drunk driving situation, and that resulted in Sharon being killed, and that's why the mom and brother Terry were not happy to see, sorry, Nat flew in my face, Amp at the, you know, their house. So I'm wondering if we'll see. Wow, I'm sorry. I actually wrote the wrong thing down here because I actually talked about the sexual tension that seemed to be between Jean and Madam when they were talking during their business meeting. And that's in conjunction with Blue's girlfriend, Kat. So there's like a bunch of like nods or foreshadowing to past relationship situations, current relationship situations. And I mean, I think it could have just been the acting, because it looked like Madam and Jean, there were probably some, feelings there still, but I get it. When an ex is telling you, hey, here's something I can do better than you, then you're not going to sell from, the club ownership. So we go over to the new vigilante, the concierge. I need to edit it in where Christian Key says his name. The concierge who works with the Damascus family. We also reach another Tyler Perryism where people don't know how to lock their damn doors. I believe we got a person roll up in on Madam's father who has dementia, and the question is, do you know how to swim? And that leads to the cliffhanger ending of the episode, but we'll get there when we get there. Because the concierge knows that Alan is dead and that Madam did it. It's interesting because if the father is faking or not, because I believe in some situations, if you have some sort of like mental, basically you can plead insanity, or kind of like Pops did on the Wayans brothers when a guy wanted revenge on Sean and was going to go after his family with taxes. Pops pretended to be crazy and the IRS let him go free. So you got to wonder, is the father really as, absent-minded as he appears, or is this just an act? But I don't know. Either way, poor dude gets taken out and is meant to swim with the fishes at the end of the episode. As a person who can't swim, I was like, oh my God, no. But yeah. So we go over to the VIP strippers, and they're kind of like, it felt like a hazing session where the VIPs kind of bully up on one of the younger strippers, or the junior stripper, or the novice stripper. And I'm not talking about Amp. So Miss Patty is a person who is the sugar mama of Babyface, and she wants a private show in a VIP strip session. Oh, sorry. Actually, it brings up the question about Babyface, how he's one of the oldest stripper. He doesn't own anything because it's on the name of Sugar Mama Miss Patty. And you look, I don't really know the exact cut of what the strippers make, but being a VIP stripper, is it really all it's cracked up to be if your cut isn't big enough? Maybe Babyface doesn't manage his money well or something, because we know he pays child support, obviously not as much as his baby mama thinks he should pay based off what he makes at the club. But wouldn't Babyface have like stacked up enough money to kind of break away from Miss Patty, like at least to not have everything in her name? Or it could be a situation where Miss Patty wants, Babyface to herself all the time, and given how much she splurges on him, is like, hey, why not quit the club? And I don't really know, but I just wonder about the money situation there. And we get a Midnight messing around with his Milky Way, and I ain't want to see that. And yeah, I'm just skipping over that. But we go over to Doc, who is in the back, smoking on some weed, and we get the stereotypical, I had no dad, my mom was on drugs, and he pretty much kind of talks to Madam just to kind of reassure her, hey, I know I effed up by not helping out with the Allen situation, but you can count on me if you ever need me. And we get some backstory on Madam, who apparently was on her own at 14 because her dad went to jail when she was 14, and her grandmother ran the business. And I believe it was stated in like the previews and the synopsis of the show that because Madam's father never had any sons, it was kind of like her duty to take over. So yeah, when her dad went to jail, her grandmother took over, and she was pimping people off at age 14. So again, kind of like Candace on the Haves and the Have-Nots was in her mid-teens when Hannah threw her out of the house and she was on the street. So again, you really feel the Tyler Perry isms when it comes to these specific characters. So the question is, can Doc measure up? And no, I'm not talking about what's in his pants, but that seems to be a running gag in the show. Like every time it's almost time for the men to go out, you got Madam and Blue checking them out, making sure they're good to go. Nah, get it up. Or, basically like male demasculation, but I don't really know. I've never been to a strip club, so I don't really know how this shit works. I'm pretty sure, before the talent goes out there, you want to make sure they're ready to go. Are they what the hell is it that Babyface puts on his body? Not Vaseline, but Bengay. Is it Bengay? Or I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Basically, look, I turn my head to these scenes. That's all I'm saying. So, we go over to another cute scene between Amp and DJ flirting with each other. You can kind of really see where these two are going. The questions brought up about Judge Moss, the judge who was seen in episode 1 at the child support case of Babyface and his baby mama, and then also in the club when she wanted a show, if you will, from Babyface. The question is brought up as to whether or not she could be a help in the custody battle of Carla and Madam over her father. Carla thinks Madam took her father because I mentioned before, the father was taken away because the damn door was unlocked. And she said, you have 24 hours or I'm going to call the cops. Yet, strangely enough, it seemed like it was 15 to 30 minutes later the cops were called. Kind of like in Sisters when Karen was supposed to wait 1 or 2 days for Sabrina's friend at another bank to check to see if Zach was the one that used her credit card. But then the next morning she decided to file a report or a warrant on Zach's arrest the next day. And it's like, wait, what? So, blackmail, baby. So, essentially, it seems like Madam is starting to pay for the consequence of her actions, mainly due, unfortunately, to her father, because I think the concierge was like sending a message, but I was like, damn, you're killing off the daddy this quick? Sheesh. But yeah, 7 out of 10. I think this was a solid episode, more than the previous one. And like I said, I'm not really wanting to watch people jack off and stuff, so yeah, these reviews might not be that long because I'm skipping over certain things, but yeah, I think the story is ramping up, and I can't wait to see what happens in episode 4. And obviously we'll talk about it when we get to that video. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe as I requested at the beginning of the video. And if you would like to donate so I can make it rain, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. Every dollar on this channel is appreciated, and I'll catch you in the next one.